Okay, let's talk about something frustrating. Seeing more hair in your brush than you'd like. Before you go out and buy another expensive shampoo, what if the real answer is actually on your plate? Today, we're digging into the number one nutritional suspect behind hair loss, especially for women. Let's get to the root of it.
I mean, it's such a frustrating thing to deal with, isn't it? But you might think the solution is some new product, when what if the real key is already inside you, hidden in your body's own building blocks? The expert we're looking at says a nutritional clue is the very first place you should look. So if nutrition is the clue, then who's the prime suspect? Let's zoom right in on the single most important nutrient that this hair loss expert says every single woman should investigate first. And the expert is incredibly direct about this. When you're looking at the nutritional side of things, there is one specific element that should be at the absolute top of the list for any woman to consider. And that nutrient is...
Yep, it's iron. That's the big one. That's the starting point. And it's a mineral we hear about all the time, right? But its connection to our hair's health, especially for women, is just so direct and so vital. And here it is, straight from the source. Notice how definitive that is. It's not just one of many things you could check. It is the first thing. That's a pretty powerful statement about just how important this one single mineral is.
Okay, so why the specific focus on women? What is the biological connection that makes iron such a unique concern for them in particular? Let's get into that.
The main reason, as our source explains it, comes down to one thing: menstruation. Before menopause, it's a regular process that involves losing blood. And when you lose blood, you lose iron. It's this consistent, recurring loss that's really the key here. And this really gets to the heart of the matter. It honestly doesn't matter if you have a heavy flow or a light one. The key thing here is the consistency. It's happening month after month after month, and that is inevitably going to impact your iron levels over time. And then on top of that, you've got dietary choices that can play a big role. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, you're going to want to pay extra close attention to your iron intake. Now, these diets are perfectly healthy, of course, but they do require a little more planning to make sure you're getting enough of this absolutely crucial nutrient. Now, while we're talking all about hair, it's really important to remember that iron is a major player in your entire body. Its job goes way beyond your scalp, which is exactly why a deficiency can have such a big ripple effect. Let's just pause on this for a second. An absolute needed portion of our nutrition. That tells you everything, doesn't it? Iron isn't just a nice to have. It's a completely non-negotiable part of our body's basic operating system. So, what does iron actually do in our bodies? Well, it's got three main jobs. First, it helps build red blood cells. Second, it stores iron for when we need it later. And third, and this is the big one for our conversation, it helps with cell regeneration. That's the direct link to hair growth. If you don't have enough iron, that whole process can really slow right down. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. So what's the takeaway? What's the very first step you can take after hearing all this? Let's just quickly recap the most important points. For women, hair loss can often be traced back to iron. Menstruation is a major reason why. And of course, iron is essential for that cell regeneration that drives hair growth in the first place. So how do you know for sure what your iron levels are? Well, the source is pretty clear. Skip the guesswork. A simple blood test can give you the real data, a clear picture of what's actually going on inside your body. And really, that brings us to the final thought here. Look, this is not about trying to self-diagnose. It's about being informed. It's about having the right questions to ask. Now that you have this information, maybe the most powerful first step you can take is just a simple conversation with your doctor. So the question is, could that one conversation be the key to unlocking your hair's potential? It's definitely a question worth asking.